Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to another LEGO Train MOC Showcase video. This is my upgrade to 7 studs wide for the legendary train Flying Scotsman. Quick question, does it really look any different? I mean, there are some obvious differences when we get up close and personal, but it looks pretty much the same as it did to when it was 6 studs wide. The only major difference is the size increase for the drive wheels. It's now 7 studs wide. This little detail here by the cab, which I think looks really good, but that's pretty much it. I mean, in a way, I'm kind of disappointed with myself because I've done so little to change it, but I know that it's a better model now, but at the same time, it's like, really? Again, it was just, Looking at it, it looks nice, but I can't help but see the 6 wide version in this. I'm going to be keeping this as is, don't worry, this isn't going to be like scrapped or anything, or at least I bloody well better not, but it's, again, I'm stuck in this mindset where it looks too similar to how I did previously. Okay, right, time to get on with the video. Let me move the tenders to a side because lighting is being very weird today. The sun is coming out and going away, so the room might get a bit brighter at some points in the video. But this is the new boiler. This has definitely been upgraded. Starting off with the front, as always, it has kept its golden buffers. It is Flying Scotsman. It will keep its golden buffers. This front section looks so tidy as well. A bit difficult to see because of how dark it is. But this went through half a dozen different looks before I finally settled on this one. Just trying to build at 7 wide is a challenge, and whenever I get the base done, I always struggle with the buffer area. It's like, how do I do this? How do I get the things right? How do I get all the bricks in the right place? So eventually I was able to settle on this, and for what it is, I like it. Drive cylinders are very disappointing. Compare this to something like the Hush Hush, where it looks really good. This is mainly because of how tall the bricks are. These are extra large size drive wheels, and this is what I believe to be the most accurate size driver to use for this locomotive, and therefore isn't as tall and cannot grant enough space for the taller versions of these bricks. But nonetheless, I think that works. This is a design I have used many times in the past for my 6 wide builds, and will probably use for future 7 wide builds as well. It's just, you know, for me it works. I don't really need to worry too much about the details. I'm not ready to really move on yet. Nice and smooth though, it looks really good, feels really nice, and yeah, I mean, it is what it is. These smoke deflectors, however, look so... Ooh, come on, let's try that again when the camera wants to focus. These smoke deflectors look so much better. If I might take them off, hopefully without breaking them. Yeah, come on, that'll do. So there is a specific LEGO Flying Scotsman picture I saw on Flickr. I was kind of using that as my basis rather than looking at the real thing, because I've mainly because I've built this before at 6 wide, and there are some techniques I wanted to try in the past from other pictures. But seeing this design using the angled slope brick here, just alone turned it into this shape, and I thought, you know what, that looks amazing, we've got to try that. And it looks really good, compared to the few tiles I just had sticking forwards on the previous version. That's one of the few changes, by the way, to this model. Size of the drivers, these smoke deflectors look really good. The boiler is the same, the splashers are the same. This new sloped detail at the back of the boiler looks really good. Not the tidiest thing ever, but it is definitely a step up from how it looked last time. This boiler became 1 stud longer, which is why it looks a bit weird here at the back. So if I can just zoom a little bit more, focus, there we go. Without knocking the damn thing over. So that's the 2x4 with the golden stripes we've got going on there, but there's one more 1x2 slope here. And that's why we got this 5 stud long section at the back, just to try and make it look all nice and tidy. Finally got some of these 1x2 jumper plates with the single stud in the center in dark green. So I can now put these golden pieces on there and make it look nice and tidy. I believe those to be the whistles and not safety valves in the same way the LMS design is, like the Coronation class. So were these I used 4 of these golden details here at the front, believing that to be the whistle section, but turned out to be safety valves. But yes, if I remember correctly, this is where the whistle sits. inside the cab, I didn't actually look inside the cab in previous videos. Did I put something in there? God, it's so dark. Can I see? I did, thank God. So if you know me, I don't really pay too much attention to the interiors of cabs. It's not really that busy, but we've got a firebox going on, we've got some controls, we've got a shovel. That is amazing. For me, that's actually really amazing to be able to do that. And remember to add something. Let's put a driver back in there. The one thing I really hate is that whilst I'm using certain measurements and scales and well, trying to figure out the scale for this, at 7 wide, you know, how do I build this to be as accurate as possible? Minifigures don't help. Here's a free tip for you all. The Lego minifigure is way out of scale. It's just horrible. The problem is, when you have, like me for example, when you're making Lego trains and you got them to this scale, it's perfect. But when you go to put a minifigure in, it's horrible. Because the minifigure should not be as big as it is. And yet, it is. So yeah, normally with a cab like this, you can get 3 people in there, but you can't even fit more than 2 minifigures in there, which is a real problem. So putting it back in blind. Don't do myself any favours. Is he in? Yep, he's in. Cool, let's shove that forward and have a look at the first tender. So, what the hell is going on here? Allow me to explain. This is the main design I saw from a picture of a Lego Flying Scotsman I saw on Flickr. Sadly, I do not remember the username of the person who uploaded the picture, or, well, made his model as well. But I will leave a link to that picture in the description of this video. That was the main source of inspiration for the 6 wide variant of this model as well. So because he had power functions in his tender, which I also was able to keep, thanks to some clever building on my behalf, because it's 7 wide and sitting things in the center is a bit weird. This section got a bit difficult. Now then, this has to be able to articulate and be able to move through corners on points while staying connected. So, pardon me, once I was also able to do that previously, I thought, is there really any reason to have it articulate here, here, and here? No, not really. That's only just making more problems. So, looking at the design of how he was able to achieve it as well, I've been able to somewhat replicate it. Obviously, the design isn't one-to-one. I'm still using the same kind of build look as I did previously. And just came up with this. So it's nice and smooth along the base here. So normally you'd be able to, in a real steam locomotive, focus on the damn thing first of all, but also be able to just walk from the cab to this section of the tender here, no problem. And whilst it's not perfect, it kind of gives off that illusion where you can see that it's completely covered. Not too bad in my opinion. But the rest of the tender, it's pretty much the same. I was able to keep the power functions as I mentioned earlier. I was able to convince myself in doing so. I thought to myself, how the hell am I going to pull this off? But after playing around, I found a build design that worked and went ahead with it. Just because I was using more jumper plates basically. And besides that, it's the same. The only other difference is that this is 7 studs wide and has instead of 6. Sun's coming out, so lighting has just changed. Thank you, sun. And this is the button for the power functions. Can we actually see the light in there? Not really. So probably let me tip it upside down in order to get the damn button out. But there we go. That is what it is covering. The button is now in a weird position because of, again, how this has all been built up. And this is the actual button piece itself. So I got the 1x1 in a special color because nobody's going to see that. Another jumper plate because I need to be able to hide this button piece in a way where it kind of matches up with the rest of this coal bed design that I've got going on. So I just got another 1x2, stuck it in the center, and there we go. Takes a while to sit in. Come on. There we go. Right, I believe that's off now. I just heard it click. So that's the first tender. Here's the second tender. Yeah, there we go. Why am I skipping over the second tender? It's exactly the same as it was previously. Talking. How do I do it? Well, I'll let you in on another secret. I can't talk. As to how I got this many views and subscribers is a mystery to me. The second tender is genuinely almost a one-to-one rebuild for the previous version. Again, the only difference is the fact that it's 7 studs wide, which is good because it looks good, but annoying because it's the same damn thing. So, there we go. 10 minutes, that's good enough. Let's end this video before I start choking on more words. But yes, the Flying Scotsman is still on the railway. It is now 7 studs wide. It looks glorious. Let's just do this one more time because I don't think I did this at the beginning of the video. It looks nice, it really does. But I'm still forever going to be stuck in this mindset that it looks 6 studs wide. And it's going to torture me over it. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed this video. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all ever so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.